Greetings. If you watched the previous video, I was talking about the coursework. Coursework is actually, it's got a different meaning. Our context here is actually a course structure. That's what was being explained. So now we'll look at how to structure a course, and then of course using the right terminology. So, well, there it is. Even the name, the heading there, it's somehow wrong. I will have to amend it because it's rather confusing in that way. So this is actually a course structure instead of a coursework. Coursework is something which you may get in under research, masters by coursework, and so forth. Now, but though it doesn't change what you need to do, for this subject, we're looking at a short course called Computer and Smartphone Literacy. So if you were to do a structure for this offering, that's what the proper way to go through it will be to first identify the training need. So when you work with computers, number one, you need to understand its hardware and operating system. So after the creation of computer, there is a first set of software which is installed to be a platform for all future applications that you add on. So that will be covered. And the other thing, which is not within application itself, it's storage and networking. To be up to date with what's happening recently, we use cloud storage, which is not, the storage itself within a computer is not limited to cloud, but it being a trend, that's what we're gonna use. And we also look at networking. So remember, sometimes you can store files within a computer with an aim to transfer. So you store them in a CD so that you can take the CD, pass it to someone else physically. It is much easier if you put it in cloud. Now you only grant access to other users to get the same file from wherever they are without any physical movement. So that's the reason we're looking at it. It's more advanced. So once those two, which more look like more of housekeeping, are done, we look at the usage. That's when you put a computer onto doing the task. So for that to happen, remember, computer equipment is not limited to laptop or desktop. Even your phone itself, tablet, it is a computer. So in the app, that's where things happen. The first app we're gonna look at application is Microsoft Excel. Still under Microsoft, we look at Microsoft Word and Microsoft PowerPoint. So those are the three things which we look at. Now, How long do we have for this? It's a short course. You may decide and on to what time you give. So we have chosen to do it in one day. So we have to split up that one day to cover everything there. So this is meant to be a practical training. We'll allocate only 2 hours for the first two, and then the rest we give it 6 hours. So that will give us 8 hours, 2 hours. That's for teaching theory, and 6 hours on hands practical. That on hand practical will include assessment. So as we teach, we assess, and 1 hour break. So it's a total 9 hours in total. The question comes, how do you translate this onto credit? Well, we see that they've entered a credit value of 1. So how did they found that? So I sent you this credit calculation form. Let's see how one can use it to work out this thing to get the credit of value of that particular subject. So let's open the document. It looks like it's somehow hiding from us here. It's an Excel document. There it is, one there. Okay, we found it. Now, this one is not filled in, so we have to start right straight away by completing it. We'll have to change the name of the course. So we don't have enough time for this, and then we'll just put an abbreviation for the course, which is computer and smartphone literacy. So let's put it as CSL and then 01, 1 for first year. So now the total lectures, we agreed on putting 2 hours for the lecturing time, but now the question comes, what is the period duration for that? So we're gonna assume each period to be 30 minutes. So what it means then, 2 hours divided by 30 minutes, what will you have? 2 hours divided by 30 will have 4. So that will be 4, if that is in period, it's 4 lectures. Then is 0.5 of an hour, because that was supposed to be in hours if you look at that. So we change that to 0.5, 0.5. We have it there. For the total work, you can see there is equals to 1.5 for first and second year. So we leave it that way. That is at an entry level. And tutorials, we will do none. And the total, but it's interesting to look at the credit, total credit existence. For there were it's 9.7 now after those few changes. So we still haven't got it to 1. So let's move on. practical periods, let's set it to 0 initially. We'll initially set it to 0. We're not sure if we're gonna do practicals at this point, not or as assignments at this point or not. The practicals, by the way, we do it as we go along. So what is we really mean there is it should be assignment. So there is no other period, and the practicals we won't do. It's fine. So what I meant is the assignment. So we set the assignment to 0 for now. Depending on what credit we come up with, we might amend that, because our target, remember, is 1. So that is the easiest way to the easiest one to change. And assessment, we said we assess as we go along. So there is no additional time for assessment. We set this to 0. And then now the multiplier there, it's gonna be 0. It's unnecessary. It will be actually unnecessary to put it to 0, but let's do it anyway, because it's multiplying 0. The result will be 0. Now let's check our credit. Now the credit, it becomes 0,3, which is too far. So that's a problem. There's a problem there. On the practical, we only entered lectures. We said practical will do it as we go along, but we were supposed to have entered them. So let's move to practicals and fix. So the practicals, they are supposed to be entered. And then we enter the practicals as is 6 hours, and then each happening for 30 minutes. So that's 12 in total. And then from there, the duration of a period is 0,5. Okay, we look at the credit once more. Something is not entered right there. On the recent one which we entered is practical. Let's just go back a step further, then step back and see what is it. So let's make it 1 and see if it's gonna accept it. 1,5. So our 0,5, there's something wrong with the way we enter 0,5. Let's try to redo it nicely. We might have used a strange character for comma, 5. Right, so let's see. You see now it comes to 0.9. So the credit is still 0.01 short. So where can we get it? We said we've got assignment, yes, which we can play with. And now we can give you an assignment for 1 hour and say, go and complete this at home. So you work on your own, that time will count. So when we're talking about credits, it's not actually the time you spend in class with an educator. Even then, the time where a student work on his own, it counts. So we do that for assignment. And then now the credit, it's right. It got to the value which we need. So we can, we now verified that credit. If we go back and relook at the document with that confirm, there's computer and smartphone literacy. Then now, which is corrected right there, that is a course structure which we were giving, which we're structuring. So in that course structure, those are the units of learning. So in other units of learning, we'll do computer hardware and operating systems. So that is the first item. And as a subject outcome. So mind your terminology systems, cloud storage, and net. That will be done in a practical manner. And the time allocated is 8 hours. Now there is 1 more hour for this thing for assignment. So it's an additional one. So that lunch you take, you add 1 more. It's clearly like it's very clear there that 1 hour, 10 hours, 1 credit rule will work. Is that then because of those weightings which we were using? So there is one thing which will have more impact as you do it than to get your credit to one. And thank you for watching. Take care.